So you already made up your mind. You're looking to study abroad with the best students in the world, with some of the best talents at the best facilities in a first world country, with some of the best research labs, high technology, the best artificial intelligence that you can imagine. And that is a great goal that you can set up yourself as a professional. Congratulations for that. However, you haven't gotten that opportunity that you're looking to obtain in order to fulfill your high education studies, whether it's a university acceptance or a scholarship. And in this video, I'll be sharing with you a key game changer that made it for me so that I was able finally to not only get accepted at over 5 universities, specifically here in France, but I was also able to get 3 scholarships so far in my career, which with one I'm currently studying here. If you don't know me yet, my name is Fabian, Central American, who's currently studying in Europe, a master's degree, and I'm sharing my story and giving information here on the internet about how to actually get scholarships and study abroad. So please don't hesitate in subscribing to my channel. So something that really did it for me so that my application was smoother is to actually define. You're probably asking yourself, what do I mean by define? Define what you actually want to do with your studies, why you want to study abroad. I think that is crucial for you. Once you're able to do that, your motivation letter is going to be smoother, and your whole application, you're going to find your purpose, what you want to study. You don't have to have all the answers, by the way. With that, what I'm saying is you don't have to be a genius and have it all figured out, especially if you're an aspirant to a bachelor's degree, you want a seat and actually pursue your university studies for the first time. You most likely don't have everything figured out yet. You don't have all the answers to your life, and that is totally fine. And hence why I believe it's important for you to do as much activities as you can, whether it's volunteer or work experience, sports, hobbies, do a bunch of things, enroll yourself in different programs. Some of them are free at your local community, and figure out what you love. You can build an ikigai. If you don't know it yet, it is a format that I highly encourage you to research, but basically it sums up what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. It is a combination of all of those. Of course, something that I want you to understand is that your career path is not something that is fixed. Like, I would have never imagined that 10 years ago, I would be a guy who has experience working in data analysis, interpreting, speaking over 4 languages, and giving on my free time advice on the internet as a YouTuber. I've developed a lot of self-confidence, a lot of trust in myself and belief in myself, and I've done that by being consistent and disciplined. And that way your career path will follow. But yeah, start by defining what you actually want to study. Because once you're able to do that, your research of the university is going to be easier, because you'll be researching the programs that you're interested in at. And once you're done your research, you'll be able to write a motivation letter smoother. You'll also be elaborating a resume that is linked to that program or scholarship that you're applying. I would also like you to define as a second element your destination. Define your where. Where do I want to study? Now, in one of my former videos, and I highly encourage you to watch it, I advise you to choose a program based not on where the country or city that you'll be studying, but more on the program. And that it shouldn't be your priority. With that being said, I do think that you should have a list of the countries, the options that you're looking to study. And why is this important? Because if you're aiming to, especially work experience after your program, then the working culture in the US or Canada is not the same as in Europe, for instance. That one is not the same as in Asia or Oceania or Africa. So it's important for you to know that. It's important for you to realize what you actually want to do, what environment you want to be surrounded at. And also look at the cities, because living in a capital is not the same as living in a city. I believe it's important that You remember that you'll not only be studying there, but you'll also be living there and you're doing your day-to-day activities. So I think it's important for you to understand the type of environment that you'll be involved in. It is also important to define your place based on the cards that you have. In my case, for instance, since I speak French and I also speak English, I knew that I had an advantage coming from a Spanish-speaking country in French-speaking nations. And so I applied to France, Switzerland, and Belgium. I ultimately got rejected from the two latter and only got accepted by France. And it was on my second year. Remember, you have to be persistent in this. So it is a numbers game. And the more flexible you are in your destination, the higher the possibilities you have of actually getting accepted once you define your where. And the third thing that I believe you should need to define is what you actually want to accomplish once you finish those studies. And by that, I mean defining what type of working conditions would you like to pursue your career. You want to work at a defined contract, or you want to work per hour, or you want to work as a freelancer and have your clients, or you want to be a solo entrepreneur and have a digital business, for instance, or you want to be a businessman and have a group of people. Also define if you want to pursue your career working at an office, and if it's an office job or more like a physical job, or you want to work remote online. I also think that it's important for you to define the skills that you want to develop. So there are front office jobs, which is like the behind the scenes guys that do all the tech savvy stuff, and also the people who's front office, like the sales guy or the customer service people. So it's important for you to define what kind of professional you are and what you're aiming to do once your studies finish. I also believe that it's important for you to realize that there are some scholarships that require you to return back to your home country. And so if you're looking to return to your home country, once your studies finish, you can have an idea of which scholarships you can apply, such as Kivning, Fulbright, Eiffel. Those scholarships request you to return 2 years to your home country after your studies have finished. On the other hand, if you're looking to stay in that country and pursue a career there, stay in Europe or the US or Canada, actually get citizenship and eventually do your life there, then you should be aiming to apply to other type of scholarship like Erasmus Mundus or DAAD in Germany. And so I believe it's important for you to know what you actually want to do. And that way you're going to save a lot of time, something that I wish I would have known when I was applying to scholarships. And that I luckily was self-aware of this early on. And now I am where I am today. Before I wrap up this video, I would like to leave you with a statistic that I read the other day, where it said that 1 year of studying abroad is the equivalent of 5 years studying in your home country. Or not studying, but living. Remember, studying abroad is a great opportunity. You'll be living and experiences that you wouldn't be able to live in your home country by staying there. But at the same time, it requires a lot of responsibility. It requires for you to sometimes juggle a part-time job with university. And you need to get good grades, especially if you get a scholarship, so that your scholarship gets renewed on the second year. All of that while living in a different environment with people you don't know, new neighbors, new friends. Your parents are not there with you. And so it is an interesting challenge that you'll be facing in your life, but it's such a fulfilling experience. And I believe you can do this just like I'm doing it. Someone made of flesh and bones who's not a genius and was still able to get accepted and eventually get a scholarship. So with that being said, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like, and I highly advise you to watch this video where I spoke about some key things about the motivation letter that I wish I would have known